Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. For today's video we are going over my pick and mix samples for this month and also doing a review of the samples that I chose last month. For those of you who don't know or have not seen previous videos of mine, this is a monthly service that is available from the website Feel Unique. It's not a subscription service, you don't sign up and it's not a rolling contract kind of thing. It's just something you can do once a month through the Feel Unique website. And you can basically select 5 samples a month and they can be from hair care, skincare or makeup products, and all you have to pay is the £3.95 shipping cost. When your items have been dispatched, you do get an email with a gift voucher for that £3.95 in reimbursement for you to then spend on the website. You don't necessarily have to spend it on full sizes of the samples you've chosen, you can spend it on anything. I actually found this month, and I don't know if it was a glitch in the system because I'm sure I've not been able to do it before, but I was actually able to use last month's code against this month's samples, meaning that this set of samples I didn't pay anything for because me £3.95 from last month went against the £3.95 from this month. I don't think that's happened before and I didn't think you were allowed to do that, but for some reason it's gone through, so I didn't pay anything for these, but I still did get my £3.95 gift code to be able to use on the website as well, so I'm not too sure if that was just a glitch in the system. I'll first go over the items that I chose last month and then show you what I've chosen for this month. And I'm actually very proud to be able to say that I've tried all of the samples from last month, which I think is the first time I've been able to do that. I don't know if being off work over the Christmas period helped me be able to try everything, but I have managed to give everything a good go. The first things I'll mention are the couple of products I chose from the brand Burt's Bees, the first of which being this foaming cleanser. And this was a just shy of 50ml sample, which was a really good sample size, and I think the price of this paid for the box alone. It is a really nice cleanser. I've had issues in the past with things saying that they're foaming not being as foaming, and this does give off quite a good foam, but it's a very, I don't know how to describe it, like a fine foam, like it's quite airy, it does go down to nothing quite quickly. My benchmark for things that foam is the Imperial Leather Foam Bare Shower Gel, which does come out like shaving foam. This comes out with that consistency but quickly disperses into thin bubbles and a very light formula, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because I'm applying it to my face. It smells really nice and it does apply really nicely. It does feel nice and smooth once you're rubbing it into your skin once all the small bubbles have dispersed, and it did make my face feeling rather fresh. I am quite committed to my current facial wash, but I would be tempted to potentially purchase in the future because I did really enjoy using it. And to be honest, it still feels pretty full, and I've probably used this about 5 or 6 times and there still feels like there's quite a lot in there, so I think I've still got a lot more to use in this one before I'd need to repurchase anyway. The next thing from Burt's Bees was the night cream. This is another product that smells really nice, and I did find this was really moisturising for my skin. I did feel like it did some good because the next day I did feel like my skin doesn't look as tired as it usually does. I think for the size of this sachet I got about 2.5 uses out of it, meaning that I got 2 full face applications, but then I could only apply it kind of on my forehead. But still really did enjoy this and would potentially consider purchasing the full size of it once I've come to the end of my current night creams, which I do have a few on the go, but did really enjoy this one as well. The next item that I tried and finished was the Sanctuary Spa 1 Minute Daily Glow Mask, and I think I did probably get a good 5 or 6 uses out of this. This one smelled quite nice, but it was quite orangey smelling, so it wasn't really my taste, but if you do like the scent of oranges you would definitely like this. It was a kind of weird consistency because it came out it wasn't creamy in any way, it came out quite thick feeling, like a bit like exfoliating, but it wasn't in any way. Once you rubbed it into your skin it was very smooth. I don't feel like I gained any radiance or brightening or anything from it, but it was nice to apply and it did smell quite nice while on the face. The orange wasn't too overpowering. I say I'm just not a big fan of orange scents, but it was kind of refreshing in that respect, but I just didn't feel like it did anything to my skin especially. I probably wouldn't repurchase this, but it's a nice idea because it is handy to be a 1 minute pre-shower face mask if you are in a bit of a pinch for time, but it just wasn't for me really. Next thing is the Murad clarifying treatment, and I've used this 2 or 3 times now, and when I first got it I thought there's not much in there, but to be honest, because I was mainly just applying it to the area that was affected by blemishes, I wasn't using an awful lot of it, and I did find that I didn't have to go back in and get more product. The initial amount I'd put on my finger would be enough, so I think I will still get a good few uses out of this. As to its effect, I didn't really notice it did anything especially great to the blemishes. They didn't seem to go any quicker. Definitely wouldn't be rushing out to buy this. I do have another kind of blemish control cream type thing that I use, which I find gets rid of them and shrinks them a bit quicker than this did. Final product is this Living Proof leave-in conditioner, and this is the one to fight frizz. I still have a lot of this sample left, and this is another one I've probably used about 5 or 6 times, and I definitely think I've got another 5 or 6 uses in it because a little does go a long way with this. I tend to put a sort of 5p piece portion in my hands for each side of my hair, and it definitely seems to cover it. I do just go from kind of there down. I don't do my roots or anything like that. I do just do the bottoms, and to be honest I do really like it. It's the best frizz control hair leave-in conditioners that I've tried in a long while. I do tend to go for the spray ones as opposed to the cream ones, and this is making me want to go back to cream ones more because I do feel like this does tame my frizz a lot more than they do. Don't get me wrong, I still do have thick frizzy hair. It's not a miracle worker, but I do think it definitely makes a good go at taming the frizz that little bit better than what I'm currently using. So I think I would definitely consider purchasing the full size of these once I've run out of this, because I just don't think my sprays are cutting it anymore really. So I was really happy that I got to try this. So that is it for the samples from last month, and I'm really happy with the items I picked and got to try, and there's actually a few there that I would consider purchasing in the future, which is what the service is all about. It is a kind of try before you buy type service. On to the products that I've chosen for this month. Again, I've gone for predominantly skincare, but I have chosen I think it's a foundation or tinted moisturiser to try for this month, because I've now gone through all the samples of foundations that I have purchased in previous months. Start with the foundation, and I went for a Giorgio Armani. This is called Face Fabric, and it says it's second skin makeup, so I don't actually know if that means it's a lower coverage one or if it's a full coverage. I'm not too sure, so we'll give that a little go. This is a 1ml sample, and I was actually quite surprised by how little amount was in the sample, because on the website it did actually say it was a 2ml sample. I don't know whether the amount in here is going to be enough for a full face because it does feel really empty. But then again, if it is a low coverage product where you don't need to build it up, you might get a full face out of this. I presume with it not being one of those blister packs, it is the intention to give you a full face, but until I crack it open and give it a go, I just don't know. I got this in the shade 0.5. This is the lightest one I think they had. I do think they have a few other shades that you can pick for the samples, but I just went for the lightest one because this looked about right for my complexion compared to the other shades that they had. So I am excited to give it a go. This was kind of the last one that I just threw in the basket because I couldn't pick another item, if I'm honest. The full size of this is £38. I tend to stick to drugstore foundations. The £38 does buy you a 40ml bottle, which is more than I think the average, which is usually 30ml, so you are getting more in that respect, but that is still really expensive. So working out the price of the sample, I worked this out to be 95p. The next item I chose was from the brand Dermalogica. They do have a lot of samples to choose from the brand Dermalogica, and I was a bit intimidated as to what to pick first because I didn't want to pick a lot of the same brand. I kind of wanted to just give one a go first. It's quite an expensive skincare brand, and this is the Intensive Moisture Balance. This one doesn't actually have a size on of how much the sample is. The full size of this is £61 for 100ml. Based on how full this packet is and the fact that the Armani one was 1ml, I'm saying that I think this has got at least 2ml in it. So on that basis, this sample will be worth £1.22. But I can't say for definite because I say I've looked in the tiny print and I can't see how much this sachet contains. But I'm excited to give it a go, and I should get at least one full face of application on this to see what it's like. Hopefully I might get a little bit more out of it as well, but there's not a huge amount in here, but there's more than the foundation. So excited to give this one a go. Then we have something that really intrigued me, and this is from the brand Clinique, which is a brand that I know and love. And this is their Fresh Pressed Renewing Powder Cleanser. So when I first seen the packaging, I thought it kind of looks like one of those sachets of like vitamins you can get that you just pour down your throat. And it says it's a powder cleanser, so I am really intrigued to try this. I don't know if this whole sachet is one use or you just put some on your hands and I presume add water. It says pour on wet hand, so I don't know if it'd just be the whole thing or you just try a little bit, as I'm not too sure, but I'm really intrigued to try this. The full size of this is £24 for 30 grams, so I worked this out to be 40 pence. So if that's just a one use sample, that's fine for 40 pence. I can probably see it being a bit messy, to be honest, but we'll see. The next sample is from a brand that I don't think I've heard of before, and that is Carita Paris. And this is the Cleansing Milky Emulsion. And this seems to work similar to how my micellar water works, in that I just apply it with a cotton bud and it takes all my makeup off and cleanses my face. I kind of like the one-step cleanse and makeup remover, so this seems to be the kind of thing that I like, and it does say it is for face and eyes, which is good. And it also says rinsing is not required, so say I'm kind of lazy when it comes to removing makeup and things, so this is definitely what I like to look for. But I kind of hope I don't fall in love with it, because it is £45 full price, which for a facial cleanser is quite a lot for me. Most of the facial cleanser type things that I use are drugstore, but I did like the notion of this, that's why I wanted to give it a go. As I say, it's £45, which is for a 200ml, but that means that this 50ml sample is £11.25. I know I got this month's box for free, but bear in mind I normally pay £3.95, and this I've worked out is £11.25 alone, and that's the box nearly paid for 3 or 4 times over. So I am really excited to give this a go, and even if I don't like anything else, if I like this, then I've got my money's worth. The final product I chose is from the brand Clarins. I haven't tried anything from Clarins in a long time, but this says it's an extra firming night cream, and I've noticed recently I am getting more fine lines across my forehead, so I wanted to see if something like this, which says wrinkle control on it, could help out. This is a 5ml sample which comes in a little tube. I do prefer the ones that come in tubes as opposed to sachets, because it is resealable then, and there's obviously more than one use in this. But the full size one is expensive, so if I do like it, it is going to be an investment to maybe stop me being as wrinkly, because the full size is £62 for 50ml, which is really expensive, but that does mean that this little sample here is £6.20. I don't think I'd pay £6.20 for that, but if it's a miracle cream, I might be tempted to splurge on the full size one, because I think I do really need to start making steps on anti-wrinkle measures now. It says it is wrinkle control regenerating night cream, and it is for dry skin. I think they did have a few options for combination skin, oily skin or dry skin, so I went for dry skin because I think I do predominantly have dry skin, or at least have dry skin patches, so I thought I'd go for the dry skin one. So I've worked out that the total for my samples, that is working out that I've taken into account roughly £1.20 for the Dermalogica sample, which obviously I don't know how big it is, so can't work out properly, but I work out that these samples come to around £20, which, considering, again, I know I didn't pay for this month, £3.95, that's my money's worth, like 5 times over. So that's it for my monthly Feel Unique Pick and Mix unboxing. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already. Thanks.